Hey YouTube, so long time no see. Um, I'm making this video because I've had something on my mind and just felt like I should talk about it. So I recently in September, I um, I got to work. I got accepted to work at FedEx Freight, and already knowing about the job, I knew it was. There was more men working there than there women. It's in the warehouse, and I knew in that warehouse, most likely, no one would know who I was before transition. Now, being transgender to me, well, first off, everything that I say in this video is just how I feel, my opinion, so I don't mean to offend anybody or make anyone upset. So, when I started this job, I was a little scared in general, like not passing, not being the right height, not being able to stand and pee in the bathroom, being scared someone would notice that I always use the stall, or there not even being a stall available for me to use when I have to go, or when I sit on the forklift and I got nothing there, or like I don't have a bulge when I stand up, or just or certain things I say is not masculine enough. Before I started this job, I thought all these things. So whatever, I started September. It's almost March, and I've been doing great. I love the job. It's the guys I work with are great. They're nice, and it's a pretty easy job in my opinion. I have a great time doing it, and it's something that I'm happy that I'm in this workplace. So what I'm trying to get at is there was a man there who is a Christian man, very good guy. I get along with him, and he had asked me how to get the job. I told him I know someone in this company that helped me get this job, and because of them, I was fortunate and I got the job. And he had asked me who and whatever, and that became a conversation. I let him know who, blah blah, and I got a little scared because I feel like he connected the dots. So whatever, I made sure to not make certain conversations with this guy because automatically, in my opinion, I already started making assumptions of him because he was a Christian and blah blah blah, which I shouldn't have. I shouldn't be judgmental, but growing up in the LGBT community, and first as a lesbian, now as a transgender man, and going through the events that I've been through publicly and in church and out of church, you would kind of understand where I'm coming from. But still, that shouldn't be a reason for me to judge him. Everyone has their own, just like how I feel no one should judge me for who I am and how I live my life. I always have to tell myself I can't judge them neither. Anyway, so recently, me and a couple of guys, we were talking about family, and like how many sisters you have, how many brothers this guy have, family, or our family has the craziest parties, my family doesn't, blah blah. And I'm always very proud to talk about my family. I love my sisters, I love my brother, I love my nephews, I love my mom, I love my dad. And I made the mistake. Well, I felt I made a mistake in that moment showing him who my sisters were. I showed him a picture of all of us, with my brother and my dad and my mom. And he recognized my youngest sister. So automatically I got a little nervous, and I got a little scared because I've hung out with plenty of these guys in the break room and everything, and a lot of men are very traditional, masculine. Some are very religious. Some are say things that are very inappropriate. You know, where don't you hear people talk about inappropriate things? It's just the way of life, right? But hearing these things and being stealth in this workplace is kind of like an advantage, because I can kind of figure out who's homophobic and who's not in little things that they say. Or sometimes people just say it just to look good, or to look like the bigger guy, or to just to not look. They don't, from the men I've hung out with so far, and when they do make jokes about gays and whatever, obviously they're not okay with it. So what I'm trying to get at is, yes, I have the privilege to pass, but I've always told myself to live my life not stealth, because I'm not ashamed of who I am. I've come a long way to get where I am, and I love who I am. But when it comes to workplaces like this, it's kind of hard to remember how much you want to stick to that, to like not being stealth, because you get scared. You know, you think of the things like, you know, I'm not the tallest man in the world, so, and I'm not the strongest man in the world, and sometimes seeing these men, I'm afraid I'll be bullied or made fun of, and it's something that I always have to really think about before I tell someone who I really am, which I don't have to tell people who I am. We're all there for the same thing, to work and to make money and to have a good time and then to go home. So anyway, recently, so I showed this guy my family, and he was like, oh, I know your whole family. So I'm like, great. He's gonna know I was a girl. He's gonna know that, in his opinion, I'm not a man. So I think about this, and whatever. I tell myself, why are you scared of it now? You fought your whole life. There's nothing he can do. It's one man. And who cares if he tells other guys? It's not like you haven't fought for who you are most of your, you know, once since you came out. So what's the difference now? Just stick to who you are, and that's it. So whatever, he knows. And in the beginning I was upset about it. I was upset that he knew that I was once a girl. And I started thinking about it, and I told myself, I started getting upset with myself, because I was like, why am I so upset with him knowing? Like, I dug deep inside and I told myself, why am I so upset that he knows that I was once a girl? I loved that girl. I still am, because of that girl. I am who I am today. And I never want to deny that. I never want to deny who I was growing up, because I'm proud of it. I'm a good person. I do everything like everyone else does. I work. I'm a great worker. I'm responsible. I love, I laugh. My sexuality is just a little different, and my gender. But it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal that he found me on Facebook. And it took me a while to tell myself that, because I was so worried about being scared, about him telling other guys, about being bullied. Because again, the work is like 90% men. And I had told my girlfriend this, I have never been so happy working in a workplace where um, I felt like who I was, a masculine transgender man. And it felt good to work here, to know that none of these people knew me before my transition. Because at least with that, they can, instead of judging me right away knowing that I'm transgender, they can realize I'm more than that. I'm a man who likes to hang out. I love to laugh. I love to work there. You know, I pay my bills just like them. It's nice for once for someone, for people to treat me like the way I want to be treated without being judged first. And it's nice. So, today, I got another friend request from someone else at the workplace. Now, I got into the driver program, and I'm becoming a driver, and he helped me out with a couple of, he's helping me out to pass the quizzes. So he's the one that found me on Facebook. Good guy. I speak to him all the time, and really laid back, cool guy. So I tell myself, all right, obviously it might keep going, might not. Now it's either I stick up, or be ready for anything, for who I am, like I've always done, or hide from it and let people look at me down or whatever, if it does happen, and let it get to me. Now, I've had people look at me bad my whole time, especially when I became a lesbian, and especially when I transitioned. It's nothing new to me. It's kind of like a normal thing now. People think what they think, but they don't know who I am. So I took this problem and turned it into something good, because all these men in my job know me as Kevin. I am Kevin. And they know that I'm a good worker, that I'm cool to hang out with, that I'm just an all well-rounded man. So now, anyone who now looks at me negatively will be on them. And I'm fine with that. Because at the end of the day, I'm still going to love who I am. I'm still going to love that I'm transgender. I'm still going to work there. And I'm still going to do what I have to do. Their opinion, and anyone's opinion in my life, shouldn't stop me from doing anything that I love to do, or stop me from who I love to be as Kevin. And so yeah, so that's what's been on my mind. My social media is open, because there was a time where when I became lesbian, I had everything on private because I was so fixated on caring. I cared too much about what people thought about me or how they looked at me. And I was always afraid for more of my family to find out who I was, or who I was dating, or who I loved. And I was always afraid. And that created such a bitter person in my soul, in my character, and everything. And I was always trying to find ways to find new people to hang out with, and that would understand me, or who lived in my lifestyle. I looked for more gay community to feel more welcomed, which is great. I love my gay community. I love the LGBT. But during that time, I wasn't looking for that. I was looking to be loved by people who I saw every day. Family. Blood family. And so I always kept myself private. And then it got to a point where I got so scared, I started blocking everybody. I mean, if I screenshotted that block list now, I probably had every one of my cousins from both sides, uncles, mothers, aunts, everything blocked. Down to the church people, every single one. And when I tell you, when I made everything not private anymore, that's when I knew this was it. I love who I am, and I'm gonna stick to that person. And now with this job, I felt that coming back in. My mind told me, put your page on private again. You're gonna have a shit time at your new job. You're gonna have a hard time, blah, blah, blah. My mind went back to that 16-year-old me. And I don't want to be that person. Because now my life is different. And I fought too long and too much to be where I am now. So, yeah, that's what's going on. So, my page is still open. I'm not afraid. I love who I am. And finally, for a long time, my sisters, my brother, and my parents and my girlfriend have backed me up no matter what. And at the end of the day, people outside of that, even my family, we might have different opinions at the end of the day. We might live different lifestyles. But as long as we treat each other respectfully and with love, that's it. So anything that comes my way in this new career, new job, workplace, I've always been ready for it. I've been ready for it. Like I said, started when I was 16, and I ain't going back. This is the best life I've lived, and I love this life. So I made this video because I felt like it was important, because there's a lot of people out there that are still afraid about their family, about their friends, and they get scared every day. And I believe they need people like me, and I'm sure there's other people like me too, that they look up to, that they need to hear this. Just live life once, and if you live it scared, you're not living it. And I'm happy that I get to live my life happy, with love and care and happiness all the time. So I just want to express that on YouTube. I will be making 3 Years on T on August 10th, and 2 years top surgery in April. Life has been great, and I intend on living this life to the fullest, as me, as transgender, as Kevin. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope to see you guys soon. Peace.